Welcome to our last section on rational equations. A rational equation is an equation that contains one or more rational expressions, usually one on each side of an equal sign. So we have some examples here. X minus 1 over x minus 5 equals 4 over x squared minus 25. Another example would be something like x cubed plus 6 over x equals 5. To solve a rational equation, we first need to list any restrictions as part of the first step. Next, we need to find the LCD. When you find the LCD, you can multiply both sides of the equation by that LCD to clear the fractions. So let's practice solving some equations. If there's no solution, state this. In the first practice problem, we have 2 over 6 plus 1 over 2x equals 1 over 3. Now I can see that 2 over 6 is reducible, and I also can see that 2x would have a restriction on the domain. So I'm going to just first say that x cannot equal 0. That's my first restriction. I need to find my LCD, which is 6x. Now remember, 6x is the LCD because you have a 2 and a 3 and a 6. So 2 and 3 are factors of 6, and so that's your LCD. Now you're going to multiply both sides of your equation by that LCD. And you might find it helpful to write 6x as a fraction over 1. And I'm going to reduce my 2 over 6 to 1 over 3. Now I'm going to distribute that 6x through to each term inside parentheses. 6x over 3 plus 6x over 2x equals 6x over 3. If we were to reduce this, we would get 2x plus 3 equals 2x. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides, and we get 3 equals 0. This, hopefully you can see, does not equal, so there is no solution here. You might also see D and E as a statement does not exist. Alright, so now let's look at the next rational equation. We have 3 over x minus 2 equals 5 over x plus 4. My LCD, first let's list where it does not exist. X cannot equal 2, and x cannot equal negative 4. Those are our two restrictions on the domain. Now we're going to find the LCD. My LCD is x minus 2 as a factor and x plus 4 as a factor. That's what I will use to multiply both sides of my equation. When I multiply by the LCD, x minus 2 and x plus 4 on both sides. My x minus 2's divide out on the left, and I have 3 times x plus 4 equals 5 times x minus 2. I'll distribute my numbers via multiplication, and I'll have 3x plus 12 is equal to 5x minus 10. I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides, and I'm going to also subtract 12 from both sides. This will get my x's on the left and my whole numbers on the right. Then I'm going to divide by -2. And I have x is equal to 11. (11) is not one of our domain restrictions, so that is a solution. Let's try two more here. We have an x minus 2 over an x minus 4 equals 2 over x minus 4. Our LCD is x minus 4, and our values for which the domain is restricted is 4. So x cannot equal 4. Our LCD is x minus 4. So that's the number I'm going to multiply on both sides by. When I multiply through by x minus 4 on both sides, I'm left with just the numerators. So I get x minus 2 equals 2. So now I'm going to add 2 to both sides. X equals 4. But x can't equal 4 based on my restriction, so there is no solution. Or DNE does not exist. Let's take a look at this last one here. We have 3 over x minus 3 plus 5 over x plus 2 equals 5x over x squared minus x minus 6. I'm going to factor the trinomial on the right side of the equation. I'm going to have x minus 3 and x plus 2. That's convenient because the two denominators that I had were also x minus 3 and x plus 2 in the other two fractions. So let's see what our restrictions are. X cannot equal 3. X cannot equal -2. Those are also what we had in the denominator on the right side of the equal sign, so now I just need to list my LCD, which is x minus 3 times x minus 2, or x plus 2. Multiplying both sides of the equation by the LCD, x minus 3 times x plus 2 on both sides. I will clear one of the factors in each and have the other one left. So my first fraction will become 3 times x plus 2. My second fraction on the left will become 5 times x minus 3 equals 5x, and notice that both the factors in the LCD divide with both the factors in the denominator, and I just have 5x. Now I'll distribute. 3x plus 6 plus 5x minus 15 equals 5x. I'm going to look at both sides of the equation and notice that I have a 5x on both sides, so I'm just going to subtract those out. This gives me 3x plus 6 minus 15 equals 0. I'm going to combine these two numbers, 6 and -15, give me -9. So I have 3x minus 9 equals 0. Add the 9 to both sides. 3x equals 9. Divide by 3 on both sides. X equals 3. Since 3 was one of the restrictions on our domain, this is not a solution. Just like over here on the previous one we did, x equals 4 is not a solution. So now we have no solution.